Nowadays, there is a little bit complex discussion about integration of EFL skills and the technology. What are the challenge between those two for the integration of technologies on the English as a foreign language classroom or as a second language? So the language teacher nowadays, older and newest, are complaining about three main aspects that I want to highlight here. The first one is about the activities should offer opportunities for a student to develop their language and critical thinking skills. We know that for almost half of a century, the last century, the grammar translation method has been dominating all the English as a foreign language classroom for all of the schools and for all the world. The main approach which was used to only repetition, memorizations, and obviously the grammar topics and lessons will be so tough to teach in those days because it was the only point in those days. Nowadays, we need to, or as a teachers, we need to improve those methods, those techniques, those lesson plans in approach to offer more often the language acquisition as the critical thinking skills. The main point of teaching another language, a second or as a foreign language, is to connect the culture. But we cannot connect with the culture if we don't improve, if we don't encourage those thinking and critical skills. Besides the whole repertoire of grammar that the language could have, we need to get in that approach about the communication in those critical and thinking skills. That's one of the points that the language acquisition for the learners could be the main and harder point for them. So with that touch tools, we can acquire a whole information world. But that's the point number two. This is still considered as a fear and insecurity tool for many teachers. This discussion that I said at the beginning about the integration of technology in those classes, in those classrooms, is still a fear because teachers don't know how to use properly. And this is still a discussion nowadays. We know this could take a long time to know or learn how effectively could be technology in the EFL process for both teachers and students. We can take a long time, long period of time to get in direct touch. As a future teacher, I will do this almost all the time. I'm studying virtually, and so I'm getting in touch with the Tech tool, with the websites, Web 2.0 websites, platforms, games, as many other tools for improving my teacher development, teaching skills. How do I use those tools that I'm learning in the future classes? I was afraid at the beginning how to improve. How do I integrate technology for my classroom? But I cannot say that I'm not afraid anymore. I'm still, but getting the touch constantly, frequently with the touch tools, and I'm learning moreover about it. I'm getting aside that fear, and I suggest to you for the future teachers that this do not see as a fear. We know that technology has all uh, its disadvantage, obviously, but the fear is from us, not from the technology. We can beat, we can overcome that fear to get in touch with them and reflect how to use properly for my English classrooms. And then number point 3, it's getting highlight 2. Technology is a medium, not a teacher. It will not replace all our role in the EFG classroom. Our role is to provide, to get, to be a guide for the learners, and that's what technology does. Technology could give us many components, many information, many medias that the learner can learn from it, but not all the time they teach to them how do them learn the other language. So we have to highlight the information and the process. In the technology, there is so much information, but the learners cannot process it effectively or as intended. So that's why, that's where, sorry, that's when, sorry, again, that's when we appear as to connect this information to get processed to the students. We facilitate the information process that is not all the time find in the internet. So this is a medium. We are all the teachers. We can teach with technology. We know how to teach with technologies, so we can process all the brute information to the students to make the more didactic as possible. That's why the role of a teacher changed from an active information giver to as a facilitator and a guide for the learners. So for you teacher, this is another tool, said before, for sharing and link contexts between the real world language and the culture. One of the main aspects, or one of the main goals to teach another language, is to connect the culture, to connect another world with what we already know, to get in touch with another culture, with another country, to give information, to share cultures. So technology facilitates for us, for both English, for both teachers and learners, that real world contexts and complex contexts can get in touch with us England people, with Indian people, with Russian people, easily, just with social medias, some academic medias, with even video games, videos, whatever you want to get with those contexts, cultures. Information is very vast there, but not necessary process. They say before, this information not processed could get harder the EFL lessons. Not all the information in there in the internet and in the tech tools has already processed. So we have to process somehow. That's why the lesson plans are very complex nowadays. So keep that in mind. It is a new world, cognitive world, still skill working. The cognitive skills for the learners has been improving for many years. Nowadays, we can facilitate those EFL skills with the cognitive world, with getting in touch with another culture, encourage with those critical skills that the learners must to learn at the end of each course. So, with all the information and all the vast culture in the internet, we can process that all that information to set goals. What will the learning what the learner should learn, what we expect to do as a teachers, and what the learner expected to do at the end of the course. And for you students, have in mind your skill and what you must learn before any lesson. If you are new with the with the um, with the language, you can learn by yourself. These tools may not replace the teachers all the time, but in your free time or outside the classrooms, you can get in touch with them. Get in touch, you can learn more about it, the language as the basic if you're starting with the beginner. So you are now with the benefit of having a great and important key to open a new learning environment. Get in mind, you teachers, to get the technology to the educational level, to the teaching and learning environment, not for outside that aspect, just as a social, as a political, a cultural, I don't know, environments. So keep that in mind. Technology used for educational only. It's the now approach. And finally, technology and educational should be a complement each to others nowadays. Learn that this quote for the future, technology and educational should be a complement each to other. Technology should complement educational to be another tool for the education, and the education to learn and teach how to use technology nowadays, not only for the educational purpose. Thank you for watching.